Hello family, this is Greg coming to you once again from faithsmessenger.com. I did a video yesterday concerning a woman who moved to Hawaii on a whim. She walked away from her real world life and she's living day to day by faith. And I want to title this message, No Safety Nets, Walking on Water. We in the U.S., we're a blessed nation. We are a blessed country. Very rarely are we put in a situation where we're forced to live day to day. And if we perhaps do find ourselves in a position where we can live or we have to live day to day, there's so many resources available to us. I doubt that we ever experience what it would be like to be in a sink or swim situation, to be in a live or die situation, to push all your chips into the center of the table and say, Lord, if I don't see you move today, this is the end. This is the end of my rope. Fortunately, we live in a country where we have resources available to us. A lot of our brothers and sisters in other parts of the world aren't that fortunate. I once heard a statement by someone on a radio station I was listening to regarding how we raise our kids in this country. I was born in a situation where we weren't extremely well off, but I was born in an area, in a city in Compton where it wasn't Beverly Hills, let's just say that. And the term this person on the radio used is that we are suburban parents. We are ghetto parents raising suburban children. We are ghetto parents raising suburban children. I'm a ghetto parent raising suburban children, which means our kids, we had struggles that our kids won't know. We had struggles that our kids will know nothing about. A struggle to my kid is the fact that he can't have the high price shoes that he wants until I get paid next week. That's his struggle, which is far different than my struggle when I grew up. And I often wonder, with us wanting the best for our children, wanting a better way of life for our children, I often wonder if we aren't inadvertently handicapping them because there's no struggle in their lives, or what they deem as a struggle is embarrassingly slight compared to our struggle and compared to the struggle of some of our brothers and sisters in the world. And so I say all of that to say, it's very difficult to walk by faith when we know that there's a safety net. It's very difficult to walk in by faith when your degree of difficulty in life is having to pop a microwave dinner in the oven as opposed to being able to cook because you can't afford a steak. I would encourage you, if you haven't done so already, to put yourself in a situation where you have to depend on God. And I'm not saying sell your home and live on the street. I'm just saying be cognizant of the fact that you may not be living by the strong faith you think you're living by. You may subconsciously know that there's a safety net. There's a safety valve. That you have resources available to you that would prohibit you from depending totally and fully on God. And unless you're depending totally and fully on God, you may be handicapping yourself. You see, when cancer comes knocking on the door, or when a situation that is life or death comes knocking on the door and you haven't strengthened your faith because you've lived a luxurious lifestyle, because you've always had a go-to, you've always had a safety valve, you've always had an out, you may find that your strength is not as strong as you think it is. So I would encourage you. There was being an ex-deputy, and please forgive the length of this video. I'm getting more and more information from the Lord. There's a station in our county called Lost Hills. Lost Hills Malibu station. The station is up north, and there's no ghetto in Malibu. There's no ghetto in Lost Hills. Therefore, there are crimes that happen in the urban areas that they don't see up in those areas. But the deputies still have to be sharp. They have to be trained. So what they do is they run scenarios up there. They run scenarios of burglaries, of robberies, of homicides, of calls in situations that they don't see very often, if at all, up in those areas, just to keep the deputies sharp. I would encourage you that if you're in a lifestyle that affords you the luxury where you have an out, you have your savings, you have something to depend on, you know that at the worst, you always have an out. You always have a resource that would prohibit you from depending on God. I would encourage you to do scenarios in your mind to mentally take yourself to a place where that resource doesn't exist. What are you going to do if you're down to your last dime? What are you going to do if you're struck with some debilitating illness? And walk yourself mentally through the steps of what you would do, of depending on God in a fantasy situation, in a mental, imaginary capacity. If that's all you have access to, if that's all you can do, because as I say, it's imperative that we depend on God and not get so comfortable that we don't take ourselves to that place where we have the capacity, where we are depending on Him. Because when game day comes, when game day shows up, when the real shows up, we've got to be ready. We've got to be ready. We cannot have lived a life that we never exercise our faith to the point where we're not ready on game day. I hope that blessed you. I hope that encouraged you, and I hope you got something out of that. I did my best to get it over to you. I don't know that I did, but I gave it my best, and if I get something else, I will create another video. So I want to, if you haven't done so already, download a copy of our free ebook, which is located in the description box below. There are several of us going through things right now and we could use a little bit of encouragement. So as I say, it's a free download. The link to the book is in the description box below. If you haven't done so already, please feel free to download a copy. And with that, I will leave you, and I look forward to talking to you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.